Coach, just wanted to get your general thoughts on that one.
That's a frustrating one. That's a game that's sitting on a platter for us, especially early. Chance to put it away early, and we just did an absolutely atrocious job of hitting with runners in scoring position again, letting them off the hook with bases loaded, one out. Swinging at a first pitch breaking ball and popping it up in foul territory, not getting a pitch that we're trying to drive several times. And that's just a lack of concentration, lack of focus, and a lack of finishing the job that's there for you to take. And we had our ace on the mound that was dealing and doing what he's supposed to do. Have a great 6 innings there where they're shut out, and all we need is strikes. And we come in and can't throw strikes and give up 0-2 base hit time after time again there in that inning. Boot a routine play. That's just not having the killer instinct that we need to finish a job. And right now that's an issue. We got to get better.
Have you seen any trends that have maybe worried you, or do you think this might be an isolated incident?
Well, we haven't been very good with runners in scoring position on the offensive side of the ball. On the mound, there's been a little bit of a trend of giving up 0-2 hits. And of course, the walks always kill you. So that's not a trend, that's baseball.
Usually Sean's a little stronger when there's a lot of guys on bases, but didn't give his best stuff. What do you think was different tonight?
Oh, yeah, it was up with 0-2 counts. I think he gave up 2 base hits on 0-2, or definitely one, a big one there. And we've been riding Fitzy hard and using him an awful lot. So I don't think he's worn down. His stuff was still playing well. It just they got him tonight, but it wasn't Fitzy. It was the fireworks parade that got on the bases prior to that. So Fitzy wasn't able to get us out of the jam unscathed there, and that's unfortunate. But he's done it plenty of times in the past. We just have to be better and not try to get in that situation.
You mentioned that killer instinct. Have you seen that before? Do you have examples that you point guys to see that, or do you think it's something you need to kind of find on their own?
Well, it's just to me, it's a focus thing. You got to finish the job. It's there. Again, that was just kind of a methodical game early on. They kicked it around and gave us plenty of scoring opportunities there that we didn't take advantage of and didn't score. And that comes back to bite you. We've talked about it after wins that it didn't bite us. And now that after a loss like this, hopefully stings them a little bit and punches them in the gut, they understand that we got to lock in and score the runs when we have opportunities to score runs. And again, just the killer instinct coming out of the bullpen, that takes a different animal to come out of the pen. But we have guys that are capable of doing that, that need to come out and throw strikes, pound the zone, work ahead, get outs. And again, we didn't help them out defensively either. There were some very disappointing plays on the defensive side of the ball that we just a complete lack of focus, and that can't happen.
Do you try and use a loss like that to help motivate the team, or is it something you guys just try and flush?
This one wasn't flushed, so I can't just flush this one. This is one that's stings a little bit, and they better learn from it. And that's something that we discussed in detail. After the game, that this is unacceptable. It's not acceptable, especially against against the team that we're playing. We can't come down and not finish the job when it's there for the taking. So. Hopefully they learn from it.
Now, what's the message to keep their frustration, at least on the offensive side, from kind of bleeding into tomorrow?
Well, I don't. That's one of those things that either you got it or you don't, and it's again, I'll go back to it. It's a complacency and a lack of focus, and if they're not going to focus in and be able to get the job done with guys in scoring position, then we got to find other guys that can.
We saw Cole earlier after he got an out. He kind of shushed the crowd, and some other guys were trying to play with a little bit of swagger tonight. Do you think the emotional weight of this rivalry maybe got guys out of their comfort zone, or is that something you try to just ride?
Listen, this team wants to be the team they want to be. They're going to have to get out of their comfort zone. That's called athletics and sports and competition. So if you can't get out of your comfort zone and still perform, then you're probably in the wrong sport.
Based on what you've seen to this point, how confident are you that those guys will embrace getting out of their comfort zone?
Oh, we'll see. They're going to have to bounce back tomorrow and try to win a series.
Neither team is still yet to hit a home run in this series. What do you want to see more out of the long ball? What do you think is different about this stadium?
I mean, I'm not going to go into trying to hit homers, that's for sure. I mean, we have plenty of base runners and plenty of opportunities to score other ways than the long ball. So wind blows in here from right field more often than not. So I mean, we're not going to try to lift and separate. That's just not our game. We have to find other ways to win other than home runs.
You mentioned lack of focus. Does that come from somewhere, or is that just kind of an any given night? Sometimes the guys lose their focus.
No, I mean it's again, when you have your ace on the mound who's dealing and has a shutout going through 6, and we've scored 4 runs there and had a ton of base runners on base that didn't cash in. It just kind of has that feeling of a little bit of complacency and lack of focus. Like, oh well, I don't really have to lock in and get this done, and that's the furthest thing from the truth. When you have opportunities to add and continue to pile on runs, you can't give away those at bats. You know, if that's in the 9th inning and we're down, I guarantee you're locked in and focused a little bit more than some of those at bats were, you know, there early on when we had opportunities to score. So that's a mindset. It has to be better across the board. It has to be better.
You alluded a little bit to Cole's outing tonight after maybe 2 shaky starts back to back. What do you think he did tonight to kind of really be in the zone? 6 innings.
I don't know if Cole's had shaky starts. I think he's thrown the ball pretty well for the most part all year. You know, the expectations can't be a shutout every time he goes out there. He's thrown the ball really well for us. So he did it again tonight, gave us an opportunity to win, but we just didn't get it done.
Was there any thought of pulling him in the middle of that 6th inning when it got a little bit hairy, or was that his inning?
No. He was, you know, he's strong enough at this point. We were right around 100 pitches. He was going to finish that inning. So.